Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Summit 6 American Qualifiers. We are down to just 3 teams left. It's Team NP, FDL, and Complexity going toe-to-toe to find out which team is going to make it to come out to Los Angeles and chill with us on the couch and compete for about, I don't know, $100,000 or so. I'm Kyle Guy from Beyond the Summit. I'm going to be joined by NA Dota expert and chugging master. I don't know what else to say. Grant, it's been a long time coming, man. It's good to hear from you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I hope my mic's unmuted right now and you can actually hear me.
You sound great. I hear you well. I'll turn you down a
That's good.
pinch on my end, but I think we'll have some Dota. This should be good.
That sounds good. And already, Team NP, I don't think we're ever going to see an Oracle go through against FDL
Now,
since,
Stan
Stan
King
King.
is like ridiculously good. Now, before I know we have a draft upon us here, but I do want to build up where we've come. I know everyone got a good look at the bracket from the waiting screen and hanging around, but your boy Snake King and his stack got knocked out already. The doo-wop crew came in here doo-wopping, and they didn't even take a win, unfortunately, Grant. What happened?
Oh, they had a rough. I mean, they did just lose. We'll say that they lost Mason.
Yeah.
Mason quit the team. He didn't feel it was the right team for him, and they were feeling a bit down. Snake King, just had some fun. He just whopped a little bit.
And unfortunately, the WAP them, and they're out. And Complexity, too. Was it kind of their debut in the season, if you will? You know,
Yeah.
they're sporting their new roster. They're coming in. And unfortunately, they got crushed by MP. MP, though, obviously very try-hard right now. And
Yeah.
so, I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think about Complexity? I mean, we will be seeing them in the following series playing the loser of this matchup, but I don't know. I'm looking to get your insight here, Grant.
Yeah, I don't know. The team NP versus Complexity games they were really hard to watch. I think NP the longest game there was like 23 minutes long. They just destroyed them. But I think Complexity, they still cancel is still in Europe, so they can say a little bit of that. But they handled Doo-Wop pretty easily. I think these three are probably the best three North American teams now: FDL, NP, and
Yeah.
Complexity.
I mean,
And
unless Complexity show me something different today, it's like EG. There's a little bit of space. MP, FDL, and then there's a lot of space after that, Grant.
yep,
Before there's
there is.
everyone else.
What,
So,
what what about DC? Are they not American?
oh yeah, DC. DC's up there too. But we haven't really seen much of DC
We
since
haven't at
in the
all.
new season. We're just gonna assume they're gonna be awesome because most people may
Yeah.
consider Moon is like an upgrade to Moo.
Yeah.
Some people would say,
Yeah, well, he has one extra ladder, so.
that's how it goes sometimes. But here we have Team Weeb, MP, going against FDL. Which of these two teams likes anime more?
They were actually just timeouting this in the lobby.
Yes.
Apparently, 3 members on each team like it, and 2 don't, and they were thinking of trading members. So
Oh, that would
that's
be
what they, yeah.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, but I
But
believe Team NP does. If you know Mojo, I know when he was back on, what team was it? Navi US.
Narvi,
Apparently, yeah, they literally had him and Pandago had team anime watching days for up to 8 hours. Explains how they
that's
get
team
through part of the
building.
tournament.
That's team building skills, Grant. You got to be.
Sure.
If you can relate with someone emotionally on that kind of a level, then you know them inside and out. You'll know. I think Dota is just nothing at that point. So
They really are.
look how far it got him now. So
Yeah, it's true. I want to bring up one thing. Yesterday it was the Battle Cup, and FDL and Team NP actually played. FDL was using Corey instead of MJW, and they got kind of handled. MP destroyed FDL, but it's a Battle Cup best of one, so
yeah,
who
but
knows?
MP probably coming out for vengeance. If you remember before that, FDL stumped them, making it into the Invitational, the Beat Invitational. That
Beat
was
It
the
Invitational,
the Beat It Invitational, the new
It's
Canada
Beat
Cup,
It.
the new
Yeah.
Canada Cup or whatever. I went back and watched that series a bit last night. That was pretty awesome, and I gotta give a lot of credit to 747 for really bringing back FDL. Pretty much, that Marana game was out of control. He came back, got like an ultra kill, and MP seemed like broken after that, and then they lost every game after that point.
Yeah, and I remember their first win. That OD, Team NP permabanned the OD after he won that one game with them. So 747, that's why people said he's the next big thing. And well, he qualified for one land. He's close to doing it for another.
Who do you think is the most underrated player in this game right now?
In this game, probably MJW. I think,
could agree with
I mean, he's been in the most like lands almost out of besides Eternal Envy and Owie. I'm pretty sure he has the most lands when he was on Complexity as well as I forget the other team, E-Hug even. He's been a good player in his. I remember his
Wait,
jungle
Ehug
Lina.
went to a land? What what
Yeah, they
land did
went
Ehug go to?
full sail, didn't they?
They were,
No,
no,
not
that was
full
Pretty
sail.
Boy Swag.
No, they went to one because Jiggle Billy was at LAN. I still have the picture.
Oh, so that was like
What
Ehug
was?
2.0 or
Uh,
1.5 or
MJW went
something.
there though, yeah. But yeah, that was quite the thing. I just think MJW is super good in the off lane. When
He's
he's
crazy
having
good.
a consistent game, they just win. If he's in, I mean, consistent or super good, they just win. If he has a little off game, I mean, you have 747 to back you up, but I really think MJW is like super skilled.
And I want to say he has some recent games on the Centaur too. He's had
Yeah,
a lot of huge success with Sand King, I know, recently. But I want to say he's also been swinging with Centaur a bit, and it's been pretty ridiculous. So I'm actually already excited to see him. I know that MP needed to get a lot of respect to FDL in banning out the Oracle, but they did let the OD through. Is that a bit of
yeah.
a mistake, you think?
I mean, he got a little bit of a nerf, and they knew they would if they didn't ban it. FDL wouldn't, because they knew they would. I mean, they obviously want Drow more, so they knew they would get Drow, and they would only have to give up OD for it. It could be a mistake, but I think Drow's always a better first pick, so they got what they wanted.
Yeah, for sure. And they're already benefiting it a lot. The Rubik third pick is a bit peculiar. Earlier today, we saw Miracle play Rubik in the mid lane. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. This is definitely a thieving, because I didn't tell you, before FDL had to play Team NP, they played us in the first round, and they first picked Rubik against us, and 1437 just destroyed me and Korok and Bleak in 20 minutes.
You mean Rose?
Yes, Rose.
Is that really a thing?
I call him 1430. I don't think he minds. He's one of those guys. I asked him, like, do you want me to call you Rose? I mean, it is your name. He's like, just call me whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
You know?
All right. I just wasn't
But
sure it was just like a Pegasus thing or something, you know?
Oh, God. That was just terrible. Or a Chad thing, yeah.
Chad thing. Yeah. Well, moving forward, FDL snipe up the Vengeful Spirit for their third pick. You know, it's someone to be there to help bail out Outworld Devourer or anyone else in the front lines. You got tremendous defense now with the swap, with the Shadow Demon Disruption, with Centaur Warrunner's ultimate for disengaging, for Outworlds. You know, and that's the thing is, from when I was watching the matchup of FDL versus NP, FDL were so good at counter fighting, like almost coaxing an MP to like get a bit over aggressive and dive like past the mid tier 1. And FDL is really good at responding, TPing in, and turning fights into a total 180. So I don't know, maybe it's going to be part of the plan this time.
Yeah, now they have a Medusa with Drow, Aura, probably to go middle against 747's OD. That's actually going to be a reasonably rough matchup, especially with IO on NP side. Outworld Devourer's going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, people always would say that Outworld would be one of the best things to get to a Medusa, though. It's interesting how that works. But obviously the Medusa has a lift off nice and early and has a pretty damn good game. I don't think any of that really matters. But
yeah, I do like the Centaur Shadow Demon. We saw Loda done a lot. A lot of people you just put under the Centaur late game and throw the images at towers, and since return hits towers, you get a lot of damage on them.
That's like a pub thing, right? Like Centaur Shadow Demon? Where did that come from?
I think I wanted to say it was Alliance with Loda did it first.
Europe Dota thing?
The Europe Dota,
it's kind of dirty.
It really is. I mean, you do 200 damage to towers without even attacking it. It's whatever, you know.
It's all right. So FDL taking a little bit of some Alliance 11. I get it. But we got to see what they're going to be picking up for their own one position here. Do they typically favor getting Beast's pick last? I don't know.
No, they usually pick his actually Well, sometimes if they go with like a Slark or something, well, they think it's going to be Centaur safe lane.
Ooh.
If NP's banning out the Nyx.
That's funny.
I've seen Biza and MJW played actually, so maybe it's who knows.
Oh really? That's so funny because I was just gonna say I wouldn't put FDL to be that crafty with the draft. I guess not as cheeky crafty as like MP. MP recently ran Savage on a 4-position Slardar. They did the support PA not long ago either. So they're more the kind of flip the script like that. At least more so than FDL.
That was in this tournament, wasn't? They did it versus Complexity.
Yeah, I went back
and watched that. Yeah, that was. It just seems interesting. You pick up a Vengeful, you have the damage ore and stuff, so you kind of assume they want another maybe hard carry instead of a Centaur. I actually don't know what FDL wants here myself.
Man, they have abused this Drow aura though. Everyone on MP side, man, they're looking to get the most out of this Drow. So, yeah, that's also interesting. I'm curious how they're gonna flip up the laning setup. We'll see. Beast's grab. other popular picks he used to go for is like Lifestealer, but you know, Lifestealer already has like a movement issue, and there's no real vehicle on this team, so I don't think that's a good option. What's another Bisa grab, man?
Slark is the most obvious pick.
What?
Rick, oh, so it's going to be a
All
Carry
right.
Venge. They played it last time. Remember? They played it, yeah. I think it's a Beast Avenge.
So
Because
these
they
are...
did this earlier, and 0-4 on the run at you style Ricky. Yep,
Whoa.
it is.
The old bean.
They just never get win. Yeah.
Vengeful
It
Spirit.
was when I was solo cat. Wait, was it? They did do that in the games, yeah.
Was it game 2?
Two.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
only one of the games was uploaded. So I only got to watch one of your games.
Oh.
So it
Yeah,
must
it
have
was
been the
definitely
other
second
game. Oh, that's a bummer. Because I would have been like, oh, that's so weird. But
Yeah.
intriguing. All
And
right.
I was gonna say, because 0-4 usually he has like a hero of 3 pools they've been playing. FDL just always picks him. It's Ogre, Ricky, and Pudge. He plays those melee. I'm gonna run at you heroes.
Now that's a fun like trinity to go through. It's better than like the
Yes.
recent like, oh, I got Earth Spirit, Tusk, and Bounty Hunter.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, I want Pudge, I want Rick. You know, that's fun. I asked you last night who 0-4 was, just because like when I was watching the VODs, I was like, I don't know who this is, and I legitimately was thinking if it was an alias or something, but I always welcome new faces, so
Yeah,
I'm excited. I hope I don't jinx him and he doesn't embarrass himself this game.
I won't, but he does fit in because 0-4. I mean, he was part of the original Weeb stack in 2012 when like Mason, MJW, and all that. Because you know you had those stacks. You had like the Fuji apples,
the Ham Ham
Loda.
Clubhouse considered a Weeb stack?
I believe
or
that
no?
was.
Okay.
No, I don't think it was just a stack.
Oh.
A very bad stack back in the day. I didn't mean that, but I mean that's where MSS got his start, so you got to give him that.
MSS has been around the block. I think he probably has the greatest team list in this game right now of who's been on the most teams. Envy's kind of there a bit, but I don't know. MSS has been really, I don't know.
Not even on good teams.
I mean, they're all sometimes they make it to lands, you know?
They do, yeah. And he's been on EG. Not a lot of people can say that. Well, Mal can.
I mean, there's a lot of people who might Fogged.
Yeah.
Melk. Whatever, yeah.
Malk again, yeah.
Malk again. He was on it for sure.
Yeah.
Beat is. I mean, they all have experienced a little bit of that EG love at some point. So it's like a big group of like NA Dota mercenaries almost.
Oh wow, and they're doing this. So it's gonna be a Puck off lane. I guess we didn't. I forgot when they picked Puck. That was Huh.
It's been brought back a little bit here and there, and it's been done a bit by OG because they have S4 now hanging out in their off lane position. So they have, you know, toyed a bit with having him in the off lane Puck, and it's worked quite a bit. And obviously with the Drow Ranger, it should be pretty damn swell.
It should be good. And I remember last time FDL and NP faced off, it was like a level 1 gank. It was 3-0 for FDL, and that was one of the few games that was one of the games they won in that land. I don't think NP ever wants to level 1 fight. I think they have still a lot of teamwork stuff to go through because they haven't been FDL's been playing together for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And that's always just that teamwork you have. And even now they're split up on the runes.
They did recently, of course, make that minor roster adjustment. Both Franz and CC and C are off the roster, and they brought in a couple of new faces, but the core of the team, I guess, essentially still there. Would you say like Stan King is like the brains of the operation?
Oh yeah, Stan King. He's Mensa. He is super smart.
He's like a smart guy.
They might get both runes here. Depends if 0-4. If he can't snag it, he's actually. It's gonna be an aggro trial lane. This is exactly what they did versus us in the Battle Cup.
Oh yeah. How long was the game?
IO Rubik Drow. It was 22 minutes.
22 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine looking at the lineup MP throw together, this is going to be a fast one if they have a say in the matter. It's on FDL to make sure they can try to pump the brakes, if you will.
Yep, I have a feeling that Stan King could very well be the first blood. And the problem is with this, Ricky is not a good tri-laner, like at all, especially at level 1. All he has is invisibility. Like he doesn't have smoke. He right clicks you and you hope stuff happens.
Is there any sentries? Yeah, oh yeah, there's Rose, good old Rose here. He's got a sentry already down, so Ricky's relevance into this lane is a non-factor, so he'll have to go back to the pool and work with that in the meantime, but that's not going to slow down MP from already getting the ball rolling because they have a 3-on-1 advantage in the lane now, and they try to go right for the old Bean himself. And Bisa won't be able to make it back away, but he eats a lot of jabs right there and will already have to use his salve.
He does, but luckily the lane's pushing forward because of that, so at least Bees is getting a ton of experience. We might see him try to dive him here.
This is a lot of creeps now coming forward. They're trying to clear it down. Stan King is chewing through the mana right now, getting down those poison stacks, but Bisa will do his best to take it under the tower. There is some contention, and they're going to get rid of the pull camp, it looks like. Ricky will swing on over. Already a lot of contention here for the bottom lane. I want to touch base with some of the other lanes, but I can already tell that this is going to be the one to keep tabs on.
Yeah, Eternal Envy versus 747. This is going to be a matchup we're probably going to see for years to come.
Yeah, right. We're probably going to see this matchup a couple of times over the next couple of days.
Yep. And wow, Eternal Envy actually taking a lot of damage. Gets a few misses uphill. That's always the worst feeling when you're harassing someone. Like, look at all this damage when you get like 3 misses uphill and you just feel terrible.
And up and above, we also have MJW Centaur going against the Puck. MSS. I didn't recognize him with that really silly name right there, but yeah.
I'm sure it's an anime reference.
I would not put it past him, but he's doing work. 10 and 12 CS. Centaur's still holding his own. It's kind of a win-win, but...
oh, middle lane?
Oh, there it is, right at the back end of it. Envy gets the last tick in, and OD will be going down. First blood for MP.
He ate a 4-jump Mystic Snake and was out of position. Didn't have a Fairy Fire, and then he just died. He wasted his health potion, too. So that, actually, Eternal Envy just won this lane super hard.
A lot of credit to him to be able to time out a pretty powerful nuke. And he will be rewarded with a bounty rune, it looks like, at the top lane for it, too. So he is seriously going to be on the up and up, and I don't know what the next step is for FDL because they're already kind of in a bit of a headache with this bottom lane. I don't know if they have any sort of resource power to, go off to these side lanes and assist without like suffering too much damage here in the bottom.
Yeah, 0-4 knows there's a sentry around here somewhere, but he can't find it.
Finally gets it.
There he is. Yep. Eats it. Gets out of there. That's big. Get that pole camp back.
Took them a while, a couple of sentries too, but yeah, that just shows how desperate they are to make sure they can get it in.
And wow, he got the 3rd minute. That's good.
Alright, forces him back, but yeah, Envy's still doing his thing in the mid lane, making sure he kind of holds on to the advantage he's already kind of made for himself here. But MP in a solid spot. It's looking from here that they got 3 lanes winning, and it's all on FDL to come back. And you obviously don't want to go as fast and say, oh, the game's looking pretty damn over at this point, but this is a really high tempo lineup. MP can just gobble up FDL if things keep getting pretty bad.
Yep, and I mean they're pretty much they need MJW to somehow get quick Tranquil and probably a Blink. Sometimes you see Tranquil in the Vanguard, but I think they're gonna need the initiation from Blink this time. So I think it's gonna be on him again.
Fortunate thing is like MSS is like matching up with him, if not better. That guy could have a Blink or have some sort of crazy pickup and match it up evenly. So
yeah, this Drow Ore is doing so much work. Just for every lane.
Yeah, it's really putting in the work right now, and everyone kind of really reaping the benefits from it. 747 comes back. We'll bop Envy with a little bit of nuke, but MP felt very aggressive at the start, taking advantage of their numbers in the lane, but at this point I've already recognized that they can just play this kind of easy coasting game. They haven't even sent off Savage anywhere. Rose is content on just being a part of the 3-man stack of XP, even though you would love to get level 6 faster. They're just coasting right now.
Oh, and they're doing something on him.
There we go. Lift pull back here for Visa. He's going to force out a disruption. He steps to the side shot, but here comes 04. Moving in for Rose. Can he get it done? Shadow Poison. Going to be there by Stan King and will clinch it. But all the meanwhile, Owie's popping off some shots right now onto Visa. Does force him back, but it's FDL who does get the kill and evens the game right back up 1-1.
Yeah, it does, and the fact they win on it looked like they were gonna go on Drow, but Stan King puts him under, and they just go on the Wisp, and that's huge because the Drow images do a lot of damage, even with the level 1 disruption from Shadow Demon. That was a good move to IO because I don't think they would have gotten the Drow.
We'll get a couple denies on the FDL side to get him back to the fountain, and we'll get our first rotation from NP now after being taken down. It looks like Demon comes to the top lane, but so does the Ricky here. And both teams looking for the same thing, an opportunity to make a go onto this top lane. 0-4 goes for it first, pops out the Centaur ulti, and with the smoke screen, they should be able to clinch it. That's going to be the takedown of MSS, and they're going to look for the Rose follow-up. Rose will be able to get the takedown of MJW, but it makes it a 2-for-1 trade, and it's a double kill for the Ricky. That's a good head start, and a good bring back of momentum. That squares things right back for this early game.
Yeah, it slows down MSS, and it speeds up 0-4. He now has double Wraith ban now on the Ricky, and we see him normally go Tranquil, double Wraith, and he can move around the map now, especially because he knows IO has been moving around. And Stan King gets out of some trouble bottom. That's exactly what FDL needed, and they take the kill lead.
Very nice. This Ricky is bulking up now, and with so much sentry and attention to the bottom lane, MP could be left a bit curious what's going to be happening next as he already rotates to the mid lane now. They're looking for a setup. They get the Silence Cloud. Envy, though, pops off the Mana Shield, and with the rotation coming in, that should be more than enough defense. In fact, 2 supports show up to the back of Envy, and they will move on forward here very aggressively just to get a ward down, it looks like, but they will fend off the gank.
Yeah, it felt kind of weird because 747 popped his illusions, but they let Eternal Envy just run straight back. They didn't like 0-4 or the illusions didn't block him. There was a chance they might have got him if they disrupted his path a little bit, but the IO and Rubik came in there. Once they're in there, you're just doomed.
It's not the worst thing for FDL. That was just a casual rotation through from the Ricky. It forces all the supports to come on deck in the mid lane, which that means Bisa can now farm up in the bottom lane on his Vengeful Spirit, so that's pretty nice for him.
Yeah, it is. Ricky actually has more last hits in him right now. Yeah. It's got to be rough.
Last hits and kills now. So this is a power peak for a Ricky, though, so this is the best thing you can ask for FDL.
Yep. I think the biggest thing they might I think it's just going to be the MJW timing. Once he gets his next big item, they just rotate around with him in 0-4, and they just start picking up kills and trying to get towers, stopping the Drow liner from doing the same thing.
Michael Jacob White? I don't know. Is that his name?
J. White.
Mikey J. White?
I think it's Michael. I believe it is Michael.
Mike Bartholomew?
Yeah, you've seen it, man. He's
Jennifer White?
Biceps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jennifer White. I know Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. You do?
She's the one in the one, right?
I've never seen that. What is that? Is that a werewolf movie? Like Twilight?
Yeah, isn't that Jennifer Lawrence? No, she's in the other one. There's a smoke gang from the Dire side.
Oh, I'm Eyes. Eyes are on. They see a DD rune,
right.
but you know, if you grab that rune and it disappears in midair, oh, they're gonna go for it right as 747 shows up. He walks right into a 3-man gangbuster action here. But he gets the Astral off, goes for the TP, not gonna be able to make it out. The Spirits will do enough work, and 747 unfortunately at the bad end of a jumping.
That was so smart because they have the Dire has that ward on that hill to the left where the rune is, and they just wait. They're like, oh well, he's coming over. We'll just wait for him. And they did. He died.
Nicely done from NP. As top lane, it looks like MSS will be able to get the jump with assistance. MDW being taken down, silenced up, not even able to get off the ultimate to make it away. As NP clinch another, taking the game right back from the momentum that FDL just built for themselves. They are looking to make sure they hold the aggressive behavior they're looking for in the early game.
And that's what I always felt from them. Their rotation was good because didn't Rubik and Puck were both involved in that kill bottom. And then, what, 30 seconds later, they're both involved in a kill top. It's really good rotations.
It's something that's definitely been noticed by a few. When I was watching Capitalist and Purge cast their matchup, is how efficient NP can be, whether it's moving from stacks to a gank in one lane to a setup in another. Maybe they'll hop on the back of a IO relocate to make their next move. They're very, very efficient on the map, and you know, I don't know if that's more pressure on FDL to kind of disrupt it or not, but can't let NP just kind of do their thing.
Exactly, and IO is only 200 gold off of that that level 6, and that's just even more versatility and mobility.
I don't know if they're going to go immediately look for any setups here, but Steven does go right to the side of Envy, and you know, kind of similar to when you have like an IO Sven. Normally Sven is not really ready to fight right away, but when you got an IO in the team, you know, it could be a party. He'll throw them right in there, and they'll come out of swinging.
Yeah, it's all about positioning, and that's the same thing. Rubik and IO, that's the biggest thing. Wherever they position themselves in the, they just have to avoid the Centaur, because those two heroes are just purely defensive supports, so they have to be extremely cautious. But you got two really good players. Two coaches from TI, actually. EG's coach and Hoot 1437, he coached Secret, right?
Yep.
Yep, so the coaches, they're coming
I mean,
back
that was
with
one of the
vengeance.
biggest things people were somewhat skeptical about looking at Team NP, is that you have 3 like coaches on this team between Envy, SVG, and Theban.
Yeah.
So.
People seem to forget that SVG literally almost, they were like the 3rd best American team when he was on Shazam, and right when he left, they crumbled.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was good. The team that could have been, there's a lot of those in America.
It feels like, you know, maybe, 0-4 is trying to follow in the footsteps of what Savage was able to make for himself already. And we'll have to see if on the success of FDL, if they'll be able to do it or not. They've already qualified for the 1 land so far, and they're hoping to make a return to the summit. Last time they had the help of you, Grant. but
Oh yeah, they're welcome.
Yeah, FDL trying to do it without your help this time, though.
Yeah, they do, and that'd be good. I remember they had some good games versus OG. It was their first round. They took them like 50-minute games back when OG was in their prime, so I think a lot of people saw, I mean, they're capable of being
Grant, don't lie. Some of the best games were Mafia games, so.
That too, yeah. Mostly Stand King. CCNC is more readable than a freaking Blues.
Oh, well. FDL, though, looking to kind of make a bit of a run back here. And, you know, as mentioned, these are going to be the two teams we could potentially see squaring up against each other very often. We already saw it through the Beat Invitational. Here they are in the upper bracket. And top lane, Envy sees a gank coming in, is going to immediately dish out the Stone Gaze.
That was a... Did they see the IO? I think they did. That's just a free kill. I don't think he had to do that.
Oh, very extra cautious here. I don't know. Maybe they were anticipating the Centaur was going to be coming to charge in, but that is a dead ball.
Yeah, I think they would have been fine. I mean, it's good. At least your Medusa doesn't die, but you know, kind of free kill. Now you might lose top tower to the Vengeful with Aura, the Centaur. Both teams are looking to take a tier 1.
You know, Grant, I got to say I love Steam that even when you go offline to prevent people from, you know, harassing you through invites or whatever, still stuff like Payday will pop up. Oh, Payday event's just starting.
Wait, did it really? Yo,
yeah.
I gotta go then.
I mean,
you get someone to fill me in or what?
I mean,
I've never played the game.
I played it once, way back. I'm pretty jealous.
That's not, well, I think FDL's happy with this. They've only lost one tier 1 against this Drow lineup, and they just took their own as well, so I think they're happy with where this game's at right now, honestly.
Yeah, they're moving forward. They're forcing the clock a bit here on the NP. And it's really hard to gauge when you got like a Vengeful Spirit Centaur lineup if it's, you know, this is also a great moment for them as they move on forward for this tier 2. The Aegis already going to be acquired here to Envy. NP en route. FDL obviously not looking to hang around, and if they do, they are posturing up for any sort of counter gank. But
now we see Dragonlance on the Drow Ranger and the Medusa, so they're already pretty tanky, especially with that IO always behind him, ready to heal him up. I think this is where NP wants to start making some aggressive movements. They're still just farming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Both these teams are just incredibly defensive. You can already kind of read it with the kill trends.
They know they don't want to be known as the 3rd best team in NA, whatever. Especially, I know NP, they got a lot of flack for losing to FDL, even though I don't think it was necessarily deserved, but you know, fanboys.
I mean, they'll still come into this and think NP are probably huge favorites.
Yeah, I would say I would give them 60-40. I'm biased towards FDL a little too, so.
It's hard to, it is seriously hard to gauge. I mean, when the best of 5 broke out in their last matchup, MP started super hot, 2-1 advantage, and then, you know, as I was saying in the draft, at one moment, just things took over for FDL, and MP never really seemed the same. So we'll have to see if it's something they've kind of been able to shake off. They've recently acquired, apparently, their first sponsor. I don't know who the sponsor is, but obviously they're probably going to be looking to impress that sponsor now. So I'd imagine they got to be bringing their A game.
Yep, have to. They see MJW doing these stacks with the Centaur returns. We already saw them sieging down mid-tower with Stand King Centaur illusions. So they're playing their draft correctly, so is MP. I really feel like it could just be one big 5-0 fight either way, and it just turns the entire game. And I think NP has the better 5-man with that Medusa ult.
Really do. I mean, it's obvious NP are just going to casually farm their way, and then maybe 5-man at some point and just bulldoze down a lane or so. Or maybe on the back of a smoke pickup, but we'll have to see. FDL, though, they're the counter fighters. We'll have to see if they can read this situation and pull out something of their own, and it looks like they do pull out their own smoke. This is going to get hairy. Very fast.
They already broke it, though.
Envy's just rushing forward into the smoke, right up into the stairs now. He has that Aegis. He can feel this confident. There's going to be a nice silence coming out, but the jump forward from MJW, he's going to get the stun onto Owie, and then he's going to be forced to pop out the Stampede. Rushing back it away. Nice coil from MSS, but it's only going to stun lock the one. They spot out and isolate the Ricky, and will be able to finish him off. He was forced to go into tricks of the trade, but as he comes out, he goes down. That's going to be both supports taken out of the game. But MP not moving forward yet with going on to tier 2.
Yeah, that was just perfect by MP. They caught out Stand King down by that big camp, and then Ricky was there as well. And Eternal Envy just ran at him. I mean, look at how much HP he has. 1400, level 4 mana shield, and an Aegis. He just wants to stay in the middle of everyone and right click.
pretty damn methodical play already coming out from NP here. Gets them to tier 2. They take down the wave, and they're still feeling pretty damn strong, and they don't seem to be pulling off yet. They're going to go ascendant into high ground territory. FDL have to be prepared. I don't know how their high ground defense really is. Beast is farming up, but he is not hitting nearly as hard as these MP cores are. And Stampede had already been used. I don't know. It's not like you have a Darkseer or a Faceless Void or anything like that, Grant.
Nope, and this could actually be a bait. Io's about to TP another person back in. Here we go.
Silence as they try to make their move, and now FDL going to be forced to retreat where they baited in by MP. Oh, tricks the trade at the last second, keeps him alive. Jumping crush from MJW, pulled up and backing away under the smoke screen. Not going to matter. Hammer going to be dropped, and Rose going to be going down. Pullback fire goes out, and they're going to get 0-4 down. MJW running south to make it away. Do they have the right clicks? They can't get him. Meanwhile, 747 gets the double. Envy going to be forced to pop out the Stone Gaze. Rushes back to look for, but there's a Stampede. Allows them to make it away. FDL, man, they make it out of a very hairy situation very nicely. And MP are going to be the ones to take the hard hit as Owie's going to get dropped.
Yeah, that was it. They got 5-man. I've never seen an OD 5-man ult like that. He literally got 3 hits from his Arcane Orb, just ulted all of them. They all just dropped down like 50% instantly from that. Even with, what, MSS had like a 4-man. That was a literal just 5v5 people running at each other. But only 3 people died.
You lead out with a big crush setup, a smoke screen, a hammer drop, and someone on top of that's going to get hit with like a soul catcher too. It's a lot of hard hitting damage, and FDL were able to make what could have been a very ugly situation very good.
Yeah, I think if that Drought Ranger, if Owie had like max silence, which you never would, don't get me wrong, that play would have been very different. That was like a 3-man gust into the IO, bringing back people. It would have been a lot worse.
That should help.
Looks like we'll have a bit of a reset here. MP move on forward in this mid lane, and they get punched in the face, so they got to step back and shake it off a bit before they prepare for another hurrah. FDL will take their momentum swing, though, and get a minor bit of rubber band off that pick off onto the Drow.
Yeah, that was nice to get the mid tower. Even it was Owie versus the siege unit, and unfortunately the siege unit won out.
Oh,
he couldn't get the tower tonight.
Unfortunate for Owie.
The biggest matchup of FDL versus MP, tower versus Owie. And look at this, look at the bottom. They're just sieging with the Centaur already on the tier 1.
It's a free Centaur Manta, so that's nice.
Yep. Look at that. That's literally 400, 500 damage off Centaur illusions without any farm.
Yeah, the creeps also hurt themselves off the illusions. That is just nice. That's nice. And here we go. More disgusting Shadow Demons here.
Oh, but the tower's already attacking someone.
But Owie's here now. He'll help relieve the pressure a bit. And they'll go back to work. But we have a smoke movement here coming out. Looks like MSS on the prowl with a blink, with a coil. SVG right by his side. They scan. No positive read yet, but Ricky is close. There's the jump in, there's the silence, there's the catch.
Sentry, no sentries.
But where's the dissection? Here comes, it's gonna be too late. No, sorry, Rose. Pops out the dust, but he's already gone, Grant. That's unfortunate.
0-4 smart. He's like, I can't keep I'll just get out.
Oh, top lane, they're looking to make a follow-up go at 747. They're not going to be able to get it done. Now MJW pops the Stampede, goes right for Rose. He's going to be able to get the takedown of Theben, and they go back for Envy. MJW will set it up with the stun. Meanwhile, 747 drops down MSS. This is huge for FDL right now. You're talking about multiple ultis. Sacrifice that bottom lane by MP. It does not go well, and it begins to crumble. This is exactly how things went down in the Beat It Invitational. NP, they lose it more as Bisa gets a triple. It could be a 5-man wipe if they get the catch on the SVG, and they will. Prison and a 5-man wipe, Grant. Ultra kill for Bisa.
We literally just said it's going to be a 5. One of the teams is going to get like a 5-0 fight, and it's going to turn the game around, and there it was. Oh my goodness.
That is crazy. That was so, they went so hard in the paint to get a hold of 0-4 in that bottom lane, but they didn't have all the tools necessary to get it done without the detection there. They tried to think of something crafty by sending down Theben, which is a cute idea, but it was not there fast enough, which leads to this very awkward situation in the top lane that FDL were so quickly able to capitalize on, jumping into where Rose, they tried to take a fight out of it, but they got quickly outnumbered. And without those big crucial ultis in that fight that they wasted in the bottom lane, they had no chance, and FDL just capitalized beautifully, and they, for the first time this game, have taken the net worth lead.
Yeah, that's insane. We see, yeah, OD is actually beating the guy who first blooded him solo. He is now beating him, and that's just insane. Yeah, 747 was 2v1ing on the other side, the Drow and the Puck, and he managed killing the Puck and then getting away at the same time, and then Bees just come over and clean up. That was just perfect positioning from FDL. MJW and 747 at the end of that fight both had like 50 HP, but, you know, they're both still alive.
I gotta say, Grant, too, from the binge watching I had over the past 2 nights to kind of get caught up in like what's been happening with, you know, the Summit 6 qualifiers and like the other American games, like from what I've observed from NP, they do not have an easy time coming back from once they're down, especially when they were once up and ahead. A Drow lineup doesn't help that case either. They do have the Medusa Envy as kind of an insurance policy. He still has some great, respectable farm, but you know, as already talked about, 747 is the king of net worth now, and it's going to be very tough for NP now. They already have a hard enough time based on pasting trends of making a comeback. Let's see if they can do it here now, though.
And you also, Centaur's a Suedo counter, is that the word, to Medusa's ultimate. It's super good. You just click your ultimate, and Medusa's ultimate is just completely useless.
Yep.
Especially when he's getting Ags next. That damage reduction is actually insane.
It's all those, they have so many defensive capabilities here on FDL between the Stampede and the Swap and the Astrals and the Disruptions. It's crazy, man. This is not going to be an easy team to take down, and they're only going to get harder as the game goes on and they build in these new items and the Centaur becomes even tankier.
And Ricky has his defusal. Ricky's actually pretty damn farmed for being 2 and 3 as a support.
Huge credit to 0-4 this game, man. I mean, he was the reason they got that double takedown in the top lane to help get him back in the first place. And then, you know, it's not like, oh, he's a pro for pulling out that clutch TP in the bottom lane, but hey, he TP'd out, and it caused NP to just blow so much, which led to
this is about to be another big fight. They know both teams know Roche is up, I think, and they know they're baiting Envy right now, bottom. He was just farming by himself. The complexity wraparound.
Oh my god, it is, and it's come right behind, and they find Envy of all people. They're going to pop out the Lincolns. He goes right for the Stone Gaze, but they don't bother to pull up the Stampede yet. They reposition. Now it's going to be the Stampede. They re-engage and look to go in. Double man crush from MJW, and annihilation from 747. Beautiful hammer drop on that one. Pull back for Envy. They'll get that kill too, and that's suddenly a quick triple, and another takedown. 4 go down from NP. Beautiful, beautiful setup by FDL.
Exactly, and this is what we like talked about. FDL just they've been as a team longer, and like it seemed like the IO wanted to just keep Medusa out and get her out, but the Medusa wanted to stand there and fight. So it kind of felt like Medusa wasted ulti there, and then FDL just picked off everyone who got left behind. That was just a great team fight.
That's 2 huge decisive fights and a Roche follow-up. 747 on this OD farm. We've seen it before. It is scary, and this guy does not like to. Yeah, he does not like to get down off that high horse once he gets up there either. So now with a Shiva soon on the way, it's gonna be crazy.
People wonder why 747's so good or Arteezy's so good. Back when 747 went by a different name, Sakagami, they were 1v1 training partners for a long time. This was like back when, way before the MLG Arteezy stood out at. So looks like they're both finally coming into their own.
Yeah, he's had land experience. He was part of Archon. Made it out to what, ESL New York?
Right?
Yep, ESL
yeah,
New York.
Oh, the support CK. Let's not bring up that tournament again.
But yeah, things didn't work out that time. But you know, since then, 747 very involved in the scene. I saw him at the Gergs hangout during TI. I mean, he was all about the Fiend. You know, he's ready to get in the mix, and that just kind of shows that he's ready to put himself on the map, make a name for himself. He wants to be up there with the Sumails, the Arteezys, and the Miracles and stuff, you know?
Yeah, and it definitely helps when you have a captain like Stan King who just drafts you good stuff. I mean, it works out. We didn't think the Venge was going to be carry, and then it is, and it's definitely paying off.
Isn't he like an engineer or a chess master or something? He's like really, really smart.
I'm sure he's like all the above. He does chess.
Or really a king?
He just
something like that.
Yeah, he did just quit his job after the last summit to dedicate his time to Dota, and I hope it works out for him, because everyone complains, NA has so much talent, but where's all our captains? And, well, we got another one now.
Yeah, captains and supports had always been something that was definitely very dry. It was like, we don't have anything. It was Pandago.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we don't have, I mean, he's always be there. And look at that, Centaur has his Zags now. Well, he's about to, and now.
Oh, beautiful. That unobstructed, ridiculous Stampede run. I'm curious to see if it's something that they actually factor in and utilize, because they didn't even need to use his Stampede defensively in that last fight. Envy just more had to get that Stone Gaze off to try to save his own life. But, yeah, they can use it and just bull rush MP anywhere now.
It'd be fun to watch them like use it as if they think they're doing Roshan and just run over the cliff into the
Oh my
Roshan
god,
pit.
that would be godly. They
Just
might do
5
it
of them running
here.
in.
Oh, MSS in a great spot. He's going to be able to blink and make it away. Scouts out the intrusion from FDL, but they've already spotted Envy. Envy was running up and in there. Oh, nice force, though. Gets him away from the ulti. 3-man silence does come out from Owie. Good clinch silence, but the momentum's already there from FDL, and they keep it going in. There is going to be a stolen Sanity's Eclipse that is going to be brought right back, but still so much damage is there. They already lose 0-4. Envy trying to fight his way from the back inside, but 747 dishes out the right clicks. He's out of mana though, and Owie continues to go to work here. Popping off the shots, but he's not matching up evenly. His disruption illusions are helping out FDL so much, and well, they're almost going to be able to bring him down, but they get beast at the last second. And the rest of FDL trying to make it away here, Grant. 747 stuck behind, force. But MSS is there, jumps in, gets the orb, tries to go for MJW as well. MJW sidesteps, comes back in. Are they going to continue to chase? No, it looks like they'll barely survive and make it away. MP. MSS, right spot, right time, stops what could have been another huge disaster.
Yeah, and that was 747 completely whipped his ult. He had 0 people. He's going for the solo on Medusa, and like you said, it was a good force to have getting Eternal Envy out of the way, and 747 whipped his ult, and that just turned it around. And no tricks to the trade from Ricky either. He got silenced that entire time.
That was Owie. That was a huge Owie fight altogether. He had a incredible position, like right over here. I can't draw apparently. This thing's broken. But great spot for the Gust, and then got off so many contested shots in that fight that just withered away a lot of FDL. So a lot of props to Owie for that one. And
yeah, I think it's going to be really tough for them to go. It's like, even if Medusa, you have a lot of damage, but she's not the person you want to go on, because you have to blow a lot of spells just to kill her. But everyone's always going to be positioned behind her. Oh, Rose might be in trouble here. Oh, maybe not.
Well, MJW says, it's my haste, and nervously runs away with it.
I'm actually really surprised he didn't go for it.
I guess he didn't know if there was going to be anything there behind Rose or not. Let's look at their vision. Yeah, they don't really have too much vision across the river on NP's side. Just one little defensive ward here. While you look at MP's vision, they have that nice, juicy, deep ward here where they can even currently see the 747 OD at the top lane. But MP, though, breathed new life with that recent fight, and now we see some new items coming their way.
Yeah, Silver Edge on Drow. I mean, good versus OD and Centaur. I mean, it's just good stats. That's why you mostly get it. You don't even think about it for the break ability unless it's versus somebody like Huskar or something. But it is good versus OD in the middle of team fights if you somehow get it off. No one gets that mana aura. It's pretty nice.
Okay, here we go. FDL had huge success off a couple of smokes. Their recent smoke, no bueno, and they're going to give it another go. Kind of says to me that's like, we really need to close this one out. I guess they don't want to take this one too far.
Yeah, and OD picked up another Mystic Staff, so he does not want to miss his ult this time. That is a lot of damage he can do.
Holy moly. Yeah, he is going to be hitting like a truck here. Let's see if he can get a catch.
Did they notice that? I didn't see pings, because 747 prisoned to creep bottom, and it pushed the wave out when, if NP noticed, their wave was pushing, so they have to know something's up.
They are definitely in a position where it seems like it. They are far, far and away from where FDL are. So that is going to be a swing and a miss by FDL. The out of smokes now. It looks like they actually somehow still have another. Where do these smokes keep coming from? I have no idea. But whoever their dealer is, hook me up. Here we go. Bottom lane though, Grant. They will instead see if they can draw out MP to the bottom lane.
Yeah, and the 0-4, I didn't even notice. He has a basher now. So if he gets a big, like, ult off, like, after a stomp, that's a lot of damage for the support Ricky does. There's going to be a free tower, though, it looks like. We'll see how free it is.
It's pretty free. Pretty free. Pretty free. You're not going to be able to do much about it. So FDL are like, you know what? At least we got something out of it. They'll take that and they'll walk away. We still got a couple of minutes before Roche is even up. So back to the grindstone or something like that. Back to farm.
Back to the streets. They got to work. They got to hustle.
The streets. The Dota streets. The scariest streets, yeah?
Yeah. Shout out to Chicken MC for inventing them.
Who would be the... Yes, absolutely. Chicken MC.
Back to the
streets. Oh, my goodness. Who would be the scariest Dota hero on the streets of Dota?
Like, I don't know. Well, haven't you seen? Remember that really the old set from Witch Doctor where he has a Capri Sun and a gun? Probably him, I guess. That's still the best set.
Probably rolls up at like a crazy ass 7-Eleven in the middle of the night, I'm sure. But nonetheless, nothing we'll have to worry about, I guess, anymore. But MP just move in to the bottom lane here as FDL make their own farming rotation up and above. Obviously, there's a ward here by MP, so they see currently FDL trying to possibly spot out something in the mid lane, but a casual trade of objectives, it looks like for now, as MP will be able to secure this bottom tier 2. And just continue to bank on the back of this Envy Medusa, though. Owie's still holding his own. He's, after picking up that Silver Edge, he already has 2,000 gold for whatever the hell he decides.
Oh, is FDL going to fight here? It's going to be a full-on 5v5 if they do.
Oh, MJW, he's running back down. Close by is MSS. Does MSS want to make the jump? They're thinking about it. Ooh.
And there's a gem on MSS, so 0-4 is not as safe as he thinks.
No blood on the streets this time. So.
Ooh, they knew something was up. They just TP out. Smart. Well, maybe. Bees is sticking around to farm.
How is Bisa doing here?
He's reasonably farmed now.
He hits so hard. It's something about a vengeful spirit that, even as farmed as she is, she doesn't seem to be very intimidating. I don't know why. I guess it's just because she's always the typical support. But,
yeah.
And it's just like her auto attack isn't like, you know, when you see OD hit hard with his auto attack or whatever, his arcane orb, it looks pretty damn badass.
Yeah, she's just swinging is it a glaive?
I don't know.
It's
It's better than what it used to be, am I right? She used to throw her own body.
Dota 1.
Yeah.
The Dota 1. That one. It looked cool, but yeah, it was pretty terrible.
It was just kind of, it felt like, yeah, we don't have anything else, so how about you just throw yourself? Right now, though, whether it be a dorky animation or not, it hits very, very hard. You're looking at about 300 damage. And with the help of the Dragon Lance and the Wolf, yeah, so Bisa is definitely not something you want to underestimate.
Yeah, it does feel like FDL, while this is happening, like it feels like both teams are just sitting as 5, but FDL is farming the jungle and like 2 lanes. Well, it seems like only Eternal Envy is kind of farming lanes, while the rest of MP sits behind them.
We can see on the trend of this Kia graph that once MP got that huge fight, ever since then, it's not really plateaued. It still continues to favor FDL. So, based on the data, Grant, it looks like you are correct.
Oh,
the Dota science is there to show that FDL seems to be farming a bit better in these past few minutes.
The stats don't lie.
Yeah. I can do it by hitting this button. I don't even need Nahaz here. So.
Yeah, me either.
Here, FDL, though, are still just kind of lurking on high ground areas, seeing if maybe they can pop some smokes or any sort of, you know, nearby ND troops.
And only FDL knows Roche is up right now, but they're not going to go for it right now. Neither team wants to take a Roche while all 5 of the other teams up. Sheepstick on OD. I think he needs a BKB now. I think BKB would be huge on him. And he probably will.
Ricky has a basher too, man.
Yep.
Another hero you just can't really count out, but you might not really see in these fights. Not just because he's in Visgrant.
Oh, they're running at him.
Okay, Rose pops the front smoke. They know someone's nearby. They scoot 747, but they don't want to run up the stairs casually, so they go for it now, but MP actually just totally evacuated the area. They were not hanging on the high ground like they did previously. So now it's a bit awkward here for FDL, so they decide with their time, they want to see if they can burst down this Roche as fast as possible. MP on the road. Envy first in the front. Could roll in with a Stone Gaze here and make things very awkward.
It's going to be too late.
Smoke screen to save them a bit. And they are going to grab the Aegis here. MP are not going to be able to contest, and they will have to try to weasel out, but 747 looks to make his move. Look who's coming in from behind, though. Owie quickly shoots down one support. Is going to be looking to go for the Ricky as well. He has to pop out the tricks of the trade to avoid further trouble, while MJW and company moves forward. Boom! Blast and gone! 747 with the double, and he is going for Envy. Lincolns gets popped, but he's got the force. Just as he scoots away, he gets swapped on back. Who's going to take the right click? And it's going to be 747 himself. Triple kill, godlike streak. FDL take the reins of the game right back.
Yeah, and just like that, my goodness, 747 just blew up the supports that fight in the back, and that was interesting. NP kind of stuck around after the Roshan was already taken. That is not a fight you want to take. And, well, 747 still has cheese now too. Visa with the Aegis, right? Yeah.
747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get the kill. 747 is going to be able to get you know, it's hard to gauge at the time. It's like, yeah, you got a puck who can kind of jump in there, but there's a lot to factor in, and stuff that FDL were even already ready for, the smoke screen preemptive drop. You can't just casually jump into that pit. You could put yourself into trouble and wind up just losing the game flat out. But I mean, if you're not going to commit to going for it, you cannot be around at all if that's the case. And they were kind of half in, half out at that point. And, well, I admire the fact they tried to do that cheeky play with Owie kind of coming in through the back door and, you know, knocking down the supports. But we already talked about how defensive FDL is. You try to go for the Shadow Demon, he might be able to get a disruption off. You know, you go for the Ricky, he gets the tricks of the trade. He was able to bring down Stan King, but it wasn't good enough for MP.
Yeah, definitely not. And, well, now look at the farm. OD has 4K. Centaur almost has a heart already. He just bought the Reaver and the recipe. He's gonna have a straight heart before next fight.
Oh man.
He's pretty much unkillable at this point with his ultimate.
All right, I mean, how close are we to like YOLO territory here for MP? I mean, I guess this is the stuff you would see in those animes, but they better channel it now. You know, get the theme song blasting.
Start playing ping pong.
Get the spirit energy a-flowing. Go up to Kamehameha Super Saiyan level 4. I don't know what it takes, but MP got to pull this one back. They want to go with the game 1 advantage because, you know, they're a team that definitely thrives when they have momentum, but when it's taken away, things can get very awkward.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you third picked a Rubik, and a Rubik, I mean, he's kind of a show stealer, right? Like, even support or a middle like Miracle, you want him to be stealing these crazy spells, doing crazy things. I mean, what else does he do? His spells aren't that good late game. You want him to do crazy stuff, and we just haven't seen, like, anything crazy from him.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen a stolen spell from him yet.
It's definitely something, especially in the later game. I mean, all of his potential setup with telekinesis, with Fable. I mean, Nullfield is cute, but it's not a game saver for sure. And you're right. I mean, unless all of his late game potential is landing clutch spell steals and using those spells accordingly. And there's plenty out there to use. You know, smoke screen, stampede, swap stuns. I saw him get a Sanity's Eclipse at some point, but you know, Rubik's intel is not the, you know, it's okay, but I don't know how hard that ult's gonna hit.
And Bees has an MKB on the chicken right now, which makes the Medusa just is gonna get shredded even with that talisman now.
Oh man. Oh wait, we got an MKB here on Bisa and a Octa Ring Core on 747 for what could be their final hurrah here, Grant.
Well, here comes the smoke behind, gang.
Can they do it? Can they do their own complexity wraparound? They're going to go for it here. Can they get the Ricky jump? MGW's there to jump in with his own stun and a stampede, and he quickly just chops on down the Fairy Dragon. Now they look to go for Envy here. He muscles on back with his ulti, and now he's going to be forced to scoot back home. They look to make chase. MGW out in front, catches him with the stun, and then they begin to chop him on down. Meanwhile, Owie, though, gets in some good shots and finishes off the supports. Now looks to go for 747, but he does not have enough firepower for that, so he has got to rush on back. There is a save on Envy, but boom! 747 says you will not go anywhere and knocks him down. That puts Owie on the sidelines for 70 seconds. He has no buyback at all. Savage trying his best to hold his own on that Rubik, but can't steal anything yet. Ends up beating a lot of damage and runs back it away. On the other side, Envy returns with Rose, and he dies right away. This does not look so good for the NP team. There will be a buyback forced out from Envy. Ooh, swing and a miss on the stun there from MJW to stop the whisk, but here goes
747 ate the cheese during that fight, so he is full HP everything.
There he is. Can they stop him? He turns the corner, and that's when Visa makes his move. On the other side, the Ricky makes a committed jump in, tries to go for the support, and gets the quick takedown of him. That's going to be the MV takedown 2, and FDL take game number 1 here in the winner bracket final.
Wow, that was just, I don't know, just perfect play from FDL after the early, it seems like they do that a lot. They lose a lot of their laning phases, but they always have something to they win team fights when they need to. You win that first early team fight, you take a big lead, you can play a little more passive like they did, because both teams tried to play passively at like the 30-minute mark, but the team that's already ahead obviously will make the most out of that, so just FDL being FDL.
Yeah, they, got to give a lot of credit to 0-4's Ricky in the early game. It was a very awkward situation in the bottom lane at the start for FDL. That was NP started with 3 lanes winning. Like, they had everything going their way. They had a drought aura. They were working with so nicely. MSS was putting in a CS game in the top lane. Envy got the first blood kill onto 747 in the mid lane. And bottom lane, they were just taking over. They were forcing Bisa back. They took him down one time, and they sent him back to the base numerous times. But once those first rotations started coming out, FDL got exactly what they needed. And just based on trend and with the lineup they were given, MP didn't have, that they couldn't afford to lose the momentum they were building for themselves. They were able to bring it back briefly, but FDL again just clinched it, and they had so much farm. And got to give them props. So with that, Grant, we're going to cut away for a bit and return for game number 2 of FDL versus Team NP. I'm Kyle Guy. That's Grant. We'll see you soon.